right, well, hey, welcome everyone. Sorry for our brief tardiness for our Monday, June 24th Business Board meeting. I call the meeting to order and call on our treasurer for the roll call, please.
Mrs. Snow?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Here.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Here.
Here. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Thanks, Todd. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? Mr. Bertram?
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes. No public participation, no presentations tonight, it looks like. And moving right into tonight's consent agenda. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Ooh, on top of it, thank you. Any questions, anything to highlight, any donations, Mr. Bertram, to highlight?
We do have 5 donations. We've got $500 from the Ohio Association of School Business Officials. And that was for some kind gentlemen that offered to do some free mentoring.
Thank you. Any,
Thank you.
go ahead.
We have another donation, $300 from Aaron and Mary Frolic. So thank you to them for their support. And I did see that they did write their donation on an Ohio State Buckeye check, so go Bucks. Thank you very much. We have another donation, $175, S&M Global Investment Store, $1025. We have a $175 donation. That is from S&M Global Investments for Midi Olympics, the one I just read. And then the Atrium donated $500 as well. And we have a $300 donation from Liberty Heights Church. And we also have a $250 donation from the Cincinnati Reds Community Fund. So thank you to all our people that donated to us.
Yeah, I echo that. I know for Midi Olympics, great event. The Community Fund, I know Charlie Frank with the Community Fund has been very generous to Middletown and Middletown schools. All right. Unless there are questions or comments, there are none. Then Mr. Bertram will vote on the consent agenda.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes.
Mrs. Smith?
Yes.
Under Human Resources, there's a Personnel Agenda B. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Holly. I'm assuming there's a gentleman with the last name Urso on that agenda?
Yep.
All right. Mr. Bertram, we're ready to vote.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Abstain?
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Under Curriculum and Instruction, there is a contract, it looks like here, for audio enhancements. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
A second, please.
Second.
Ms. Hauser, could you provide some insight on this, please?
You know what? Before we move on, can we back up just a little bit? I would like to say welcome to Cassidy Wadke. Cassidy's going to be joining us at Mayfield Elementary as the assistant principal. She's coming to us from Mount Healthy. No, she wasn't able to join us tonight. She's on vacation. Yeah, but I did want to give her a shout out. She's going to be joining Mayfield as assistant principal, coming from Mount Healthy, where she was an assistant principal there. She also served as a teacher, as an intervention specialist for quite a few years before that. So just wanted to say welcome to her as she's on the beach. That takes us to our audio enhancement contract. So back in, students listen, they say, about 75% of their day. So if students are listening about 75% of the day, that means teachers are talking quite a bit. The contract you see in front of you is from Audio Enhancement, and that's for speaker systems inside the K through 5 classrooms. So back on March 10th in a board communication, I shared with you we were doing a pilot at Mayfield Elementary and Creekview with teachers. focusing in on it. And it's really just as simple as that. It's a speaker, it's a system that teachers wear around their neck, and it helps students to hear. It's like teachers are sitting right next to the students. It helps students focus easier. There's less need for the teachers to repeat. Really, there's a lot of improvement on performance in the classroom. Teachers really reported a lot more engagement from the students. So we had some of our ESSER dollars remaining, so we've committed to putting the speaker systems in all of our K-5. Just want to mention that we have the speaker systems in all of our middle school and high school classrooms from the renovations, also in all of our newly renovated new classrooms at Rosa Parks. So now we'll have them in all K through 5 classrooms, middle school classrooms, and then at the high school. So that's what you see. And so that comes to the tune of $400,000, and that takes care of the ESSER funds.
Any questions regarding?
So every student has a receiver?
The teachers wear the speaker around their neck. So there's the microphone around their neck, and the speaker's in the classroom.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Interesting.
What's the expectation for usage, like all day, every day? Will teachers utilize
Yep.
this?
I've seen these used sometimes, and honestly, it seems to me it makes for a calmer classroom.
It does. So, the presenter, the way he put it when he was sharing it with us is, think about when you've gone to some kind of meeting and somebody says to the presenter, here, use the mic. And they say, oh, I don't need a mic. And then it's like you strain to hear the presenter. Or you also hear teachers sometimes say they have a teacher voice. A lot of times teachers have to yell. But if you look at the research, when teachers have to yell, there's a lot of effectiveness where when teachers yell, students that are closer to them, that's hard for them to listen to the yelling. And then also as that sound travels throughout the classroom, and also teachers can't yell all day. Right, so really it's to improve performance, also to help the teachers to deliver instruction all day long.
So we piloted this already.
We did, yes.
Good.
And also, Ms. Mulligan, we already have it in our middle school and high school classrooms, and Rosa Parks, the new classrooms.
Wow.
Just in where it's been used, does it, just trying to think about the school environment, do teachers close their doors when they utilize these, or will sound travel throughout the or is it the acoustics of those rooms keeps it to where those aren't really true factors?
I'm just thinking as I walk through the halls, it's really not a true factor.
Does it require a lot of maintenance on these, yearly maintenance or anything?
I could look into that, but it hasn't been reported. I mean, that's not something that comes across. Batteries, yeah.
Batteries.
We have to buy batteries. Yeah. Where it really comes in handy, like in the middle school and the arts classes, and, yeah.
Other questions? Thank you for that.
Experiential learning, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Small group instruction, right, where you need that teacher voice.
Mr. Bertram?
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes.
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Under curriculum instruction, another contract with My USA Student Branch Agreement. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved?
A second, please.
Second.
I think Holly got in there?
I
Or
don't know.
Kathy? I don't know who got in there. Again, Ms. Hauser, could you provide some insight regarding this?
Sure. This goes right in line with our Middletown High School redesign. Our plan next school year is to open a branch of My USA in Middletown High School. So part of this is that we'll have the branch inside, right by the cafeteria. Open each day at lunchtime for students to deposit money. Open an account first, right? Really, before they open an account, the goal is to educate children on the importance of saving money. It's all going to be run through the Business Foundations class, starting with talking about the importance of opening an account, saving money, then teaching children how to open an account, all with our business partner, first My USA, and then students open an account. They can deposit the money at lunchtime. My USA is responsible for transporting money back and forth to the bank. But yeah, it's the beginning of opening businesses in the high school.
Interesting.
I'd like to add that we've had our credit union at Northwest Schools at each of the 2 high schools, and boy, it was very successful. Kids loved working for them. Many of those kids ended up working for the credit union through the summer and after they graduated high school as well, so good career opportunities for the kids to participate.
Did I mention the students are going to work at the credit union? Did I mention that? They are. And then also, not only will they work at the bank in the high school, but they'll also be learning about marketing strategies, all the other careers that are available to them working in a bank within that classroom.
Is there any liability or legal considerations for starting this in our high school that we've had to explore?
Well, we've been working with our attorney, and that's what we're doing right now, working through what the liabilities could be. Yeah. But the bank is solely responsible for the cash on hand at the high school location.
Right.
And we're working through the vault situation and how money's handled, and, yeah. There's no ATM on site.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, there's no ATM on site.
I think it's a great opportunity, and I've heard of these in other high schools, but I think it's impressive that we're going to have one here. I think it's a great thing.
Yep.
No, it's exciting. It's just curious in terms
So
of
many
some
pieces.
of the making sure, and other districts have utilized this. You said in
They have, right?
Yeah, for a long
You
time.
know, Lebanon has one. I think Mason has one. Yeah.
Good. Any other questions? All right, then Mr. Bertram.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes.
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Motion carries. Under curriculum instruction, there's an MOU for the MHS redesign planning period. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you, Todd. A second, please.
Second.
Thank you, Holly. Ms. Hauser?
Sure.
Thank you.
This is also in line with our Middletown High School redesign. Next year, during the 2024-2025 school year, our Middletown High School teachers are going to be experiencing a 9-week pilot where they're going to have 2 experiential learning days a week. Experiential learning days will involve 90-minute periods, and what this MOU states is that they will receive their planning periods throughout the school week. So currently, the contract language states that their planning periods are daily. The new contract language would state that they receive their planning time during the week. So it's just a matter of going from daily to the same amount of time during the week. Yeah.
All right, any questions regarding this?
No.
All right, then Mr. Bertram.
Dr. Urso?
Yes.
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries. Under curriculum and instruction, there appears to be 2 extended field trips. The first being an extended field trip for the Middletown High School Orchestra and Show Choir, traveling to, it appears, Walt Disney World in Orlando. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
A second, please.
Second.
Somebody got that.
I'll give that one to Kathy. I gave the last one.
All right, perfect. Questions or comments regarding this?
No, I know they've done this before, and I think it shows in their performances in the years to come what confidence this must give them. I'm happy they get to go.
Fantastic.
No, thank you to the adults. I know a lot of work and planning, and those buses can't smell great either. And so all the things that go into this, appreciate the adults that put in the time to make sure it happens. And I know I'm glad to support these things. Questions, comments? Nope, nope. Mr. Bertram?
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes. The second field trip is an extended field trip for the Middletown High School boys basketball team. Again, it looks like they're going to Orlando, Florida. Is there a
They are.
motion for approval?
So moved.
In a second?
Second.
Questions, comments regarding this trip?
Again, I think this has to be a kind of an exciting thing for these boys. It makes them got to make them feel pretty important, and good to get out and do these things and mingle on a bigger stage. I think it's wonderful. And I agree with Chris, the people who plan these things and are willing to go with them, and, you know, it's a lot of work planning something like this and carrying it out, so.
And I believe they have to be invited to it.
They do.
Yes.
Yeah, this event's pretty,
Very exciting.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They're
no.
enough to be invited.
Yep.
And so it appears it's going to be funded through fundraising through the teams? All right. A few years ago, I was on a plane with one of our opponents in the GMC traveling to Florida, so it's nice to see our boys fly into Florida and wearing their purple uniforms like I saw the other group wearing their school colors. Other questions, comments? If there are none, then Mr. Bertram.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Schreiber?
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan?
Yes.
Dr. Urso?
Yes.
Mrs. Snow?
Yes.
All right, under business, there's a contract with Prodigy Building Solutions for the restoration of 5 tennis courts at the high school, including a trench and dry well. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved?
We got to get on our game on this
I
one,
know.
people.
We need cards.
Second.
Your turn. I think Ms. Schreiber, you got it. Is there a second, please?
Second.
Thank you, Holly. Questions, comments, or Mr. Bertram, if you want to outline this for us, please?
Yes, our basketball courts.
Tennis.
Tennis.
Tennis courts, basketball. We were just talking basketball.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I've just got 3 pictures here to share with you. There's more pictures. I just picked out 3 to highlight some of the surface cracks that we're seeing on our tennis courts. Obviously, they're beyond repair that we actually have to resurface them because they're wide enough and deep enough that they create the necessary work. Another one right there.
And these courts are the same life or age of our building?
Yeah, I think we resurfaced them when we finished the middle school. So 4 years.
And is that the typical lifespan of these? And maybe you're not the one to ask or
Yeah,
know, but it seems like a short lifespan for such an expensive,
Well, they don't look the same as other tennis courts I've seen, and I don't know, you know, other courts seem to have different kind of finishes on them.
They're the old ones.
I just wonder.
They're the old ones.
these are the old courts, so these were not resurfaced?
Right, they
were
were, the
just-
old
Oh,
courts.
okay,
The old courts
okay.
were painted.
Purple.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, I don't know how old these are then, since they've been resurfaced.
all right. Other questions or comments regarding this? All right. If there are none, then Mr. Bertram.
All right, I think I'm at Mrs. Schreiber,
Yes.
Mrs. Mulligan,
Yes.
Dr. Urso,
Yes.
Mrs. Snow,
Yes.
Mr. Moore.
Yes.
Motion carries. That brings us to committee reports. Any committees have any reporting?
No.
Ms. Hauser?
No,
I know
we-
that the schools in the city, we did meet. You can share if you would like.
So the school, yes, we did meet. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about update on the SROs. We've been working hard for our community with the SROs and funding next year and going forward with our plans. And then also community center updates. We also talked about convocation picnic coming up next year, just touching base with the city and moving forward with our partnerships. Did I miss anything?
Talked air conditioning for a second.
And talked air conditioning, right?
Yeah,
We
that's
are missing air conditioning in our building for a week, and it's back up, but the other half of the building's going to be down, starting at some point in time this week. Yes, so to be determined.
No, it's always good to meet with the city and work through some of those things and stay on the same page. Always enjoy those meetings.
And then we'll have a policy committee update next time. It'll be a nice large
A
one.
big one.
I saw your stack of paper.
Yeah, we got some reading to do.
Yeah.
We sure do.
Looks like you won't have trouble sleeping for a while.
No.
You just
No,
pull
no,
that
no.
out.
Well, it's kind of exciting because we'll be meeting with the policy person from
Yeah.
OSBA. And that's the person who kind of guides us through all this. And this is the first time since I've been on this committee that we've done that. So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah.
She's good to work with.
Yeah.
Very, very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, then that brings us to Board of Education reports. And Ms. Snow, anything to report tonight? Nope. Mr. Moore?
No comments this
No
evening.
comments tonight. 3 in a row, Ms. Shiver. Anything to comment on?
No, nothing really.
Nothing?
No.
Gonna break the streak?
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing to report, nothing exciting? Let me think here. I'm gonna make something up real
We're all
fast.
staying inside trying to keep cool, I think.
No. Nothing to report tonight. And so, Mr.
I am going to thank the city. They shut us down on the other side of the building for the exact 2 weeks that they said we'd be down. They brought us up last Friday. It took the weekend, of course, for the air to really catch up, and it was very comfortable in here today. So I got my 2 weeks over with. Now this half of the building's got to deal with their 2 weeks, but I may rent them space in my office.
I was going to say, do you get company? Do you get company when that
I
happens?
would take company if they need it, absolutely. So that's all that I have, other than if the heat is down here, we will have our next meeting on the other side of the floor over here.
Okay.
I'd like to say we have a team at Model Schools, team of administrators and teachers, and also a team at ISTE conference over the summer. So I want to give a shout out to them. Hopefully they're engaged in lots of good learning. Can't wait to hear what they have to share when they come back. So learning continues over the summer.
Yay. All right, then that brings us to adjournment. Is there a motion for?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. And Mr. Bertram?
All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Have a good evening. Gosh. what's
Thanks,
this?
Amy.